I'm going to pivot now to, this is Jake Rigby's work around the media multitasking. So if you think about using your phone while driving, that's pretty obvious that there's some real big safety concerns. Like if you're not paying attention to driving, well, first of all, it's against the law, the police will stop you. But also the implications for not paying attention is that you can cause a crash and like real harm can come. But I think this was quite a nice pivot because it was thinking about some of the same issues, but now it's around relaxation and socializing and being with other people, right? And so how do we watch TV now? There was this kind of age where you had a single television in the home, the family, you've got this like image of like the 90s, you know, so I hear we're going back to the 70s, right? So since we're going back to the 70s, there was this image that we had there of like one TV in the house, a family gathering around it, well, you know, a series of channels that you could watch and you had to follow the schedule. Now everyone's got small devices, they're watching on their own device. Maybe they're watching together, but actually they're secretly doing some email or messaging at the same time or doing their own stuff, or you're just watching different stuff. And so thinking about how that's kind of evolving. So this is work done with BBC where they're thinking about how the viewing experience is changing and how we should kind of take on board this for viewing of the future. So Jake started out with some really fun work where it's just kind of persuading people. Again, major ethics and data protection issues to overcome, but we did that. But basically filming people watching telly. And so you've got some devices being used, you've got people doing homework. So, you know, it's just people, what they're doing in their natural environment. And then with these videos, there's an opportunity to do some analysis of those. So you're able to take them and then annotate them. And these are being basically coded. The top bar at the top there is TV is on. And then you've got people being present and their device. And where device is just simply whether you can see the phone out or tablet. And so what you can then get a sense of is how, while the TV is on, how people are kind of using their phone while media multitasking. And you see these similar kind of patterns to what we saw in the driving scenario, where there are different strategies. You've got this top one here, where it's kind of like short, bitty interactions. Maybe they're kind of having a WhatsApp message, and it's just like comes in, put it down, comes in, put it down, and kind of while watching. And at the bottom here, it's basically like, no, I'm going to sit with you, but I'm just going to do my email while we're sitting together, but I'm not actually watching your show. And so it's thinking about how those viewing experiences develop. But I think this is kind of fascinating, kind of how the viewing experience has changed as we moved into these kind of new platforms on demand, moving away from large TVs. Certainly, you know, my children, particularly my youngest daughter, rarely watches on the big TV. It's like it's too cumbersome. It's like it's a nice big TV, it's great quality, high resolution. You'd think it should be a nice viewing experience, and she could have it all to herself. But no, first of all, the remote control is a horrible user interface. But there's something nicer just simply about having a tablet and being able to walk around. Okay, so yeah, there's something about the form factor of this. You can watch when you want, how you want. So you can take it to different spaces and move around the house, or simply watch when you're on the go. We developed a tool for assessing those viewing experiences. This is building on work that Anna Cox initially started here around experiences with gaming. So using your phone or a computer to play computer games. And they developed a questionnaire that you can give somebody after a playing experience to see how great the experience was. And what we did is kind of adapted that and applied it to assessing experiences in TV watching. So you watch a video, then you fill out this really quick 24-item questionnaire, which works really nicely. And you get a measure of the effect. Why am I telling you about this? I think because I want to pivot into the relationship between research and teaching, which I'm going to come back to again in a moment. So here is a master's dissertation project from summer 2020, so the year that COVID got started. It was done entirely online. What was done here was, as we're beginning to think about how teaching was going to happen, we started thinking about how to make videos, right? How do we do this? And it was very clear that like Zoom forces you into a certain way of making videos with like small video, and then you've got the slides, and you know, does that work? Do you like to see the face, right? Right now, the people watching online are probably seeing mostly my slides, and then it's just a little me, right? And that's the default. But what happens if you want a different view? So we're beginning to think about what could we do in terms of research to assess these experiences. And so we're using the Film IEQ to then think about how you can think about different viewing experiences. So we had here a small face. So here it's like an embedded video with the full slides? Or do you do kind of more of a flipped interleaving where you have a slide for a bit and then it's full face and a slide for a bit? And there's another thing as well where it was like the background. So here is a professional background. It's all very officey looking. And then we had another condition where it was all fun background, right? So it's more engaging. I'll get back to that in a moment. But why am I telling you about this? I'm telling you about this because if you're, I think we've got some of the current master students in the room, right? Is that right? Did I see some people walk in? Yeah, there we go. Hello. So you know about this. So you know about this data set from your coursework, right? Yeah, you like that. Good memories, happy days, not stressful at all. You still remember how to do that? Good stuff. So I care passionately about teaching research skills, data handling skills. And so what's nice is you can take stuff like this and give students data sets and then set them basically problem-based learning activities where you say, think about how you analyze this and develop those skills. And I think those skills are super important because let's be honest, when you go off into future industry roles, you're going to need them, right? You're going to be given some data, you're going to handle data. You need to know how to handle it correctly. And you need to know how to make sense of it. And so we're kind of working on that. And I think that's where I'm going to pivot now to some current research that we're doing. This is in collaboration with Microsoft Research at the Road in Cambridge, of thinking about how you teach people to use Excel. So Excel is pretty dry. No one gets too excited by it, really. You know, who's excited by Excel? Did you know that there are like TikTok channels devoted to teaching you tips and tricks for Excel?
Bongo la, bongo cha cha cha.
So this is a fun way. So TikTok, it's a modern format. It's what the kids of today are into, right? That's what the kids tell me anyway. I don't know about TikTok myself, but it's a 30-second format, so very brief. And, you know, it's very hard. You know, I think I've made Excel videos and they're not 30 seconds, right, guys? They're pretty long and boring. Yeah, they're pretty boring. I'm not going to get the same level of, and these have got massive amounts of watches. You know, we're talking like 35,000 views about how to do these simple functions in Excel using TikTok through a tutorial for TikTok. And so we're interested to see how that's going to work as a technique for whether you actually learn anything from it. So going back to what was done in Gary's project there was around looking at the fun aspect. Is that a good way of learning? If we make it fun, do people learn better? Does it make it more engaging? It certainly probably makes it more memorable. You'll probably remember this bit of the talk, the fact that I can go and learn Excel stuff like count if on TikTok. That's something that you probably remember, right?